As our nation remembers New York's Twin Towers, we remember and cherish the life of Ted DeMauro, Mayor DeMauro, Teddy, a man whose vision built Springfield's skyline and whose dreams created a lasting legacy for the city and the people that he loved. After Ted DeMauro finished his service as mayor, Ted Kennedy prophetically said of him, "We will all miss Ted DeMauro, but whenever we do, we can always see his profile etched across the skyline of his new and better Springfield." Ted DeMauro was more the great public servant than the great politician. He was courageous and compassionate, and he was humble. A rare, very rare combination, seldom seen today. He was not motivated by what might be popular for his next election, but much more so, by what great endeavor might benefit Springfield and her people for decades to come. The first time I met him, I was a kid. My mom said I didn't have to work in the family store that day because my Uncle Nick was going to pick me up. Road trip, I thought. Fun. But Nicky DeAngelis showed up with a truck full of DeMauro lawn signs, which were built at my grandmother's house at the end of this very street, William Street. And off we went to put them in the yards. Ted met us on those streets to thank his troops. I was starstruck when he got out of the car. To me, he was 10 feet tall. He was the man, Ted DeMauro. The next time I met him was more official, with Springfield icon Romeo Sear. Teddy asked Romeo to bring me to his office. I was so nervous I think I sweat off 10 pounds just on the way down. The mayor. Teddy knew Springfield's children needed a new high school, and the best spot was Plum Park and Pine Point. Romeo and I were on the Pine Point Citizens Council. The issue was not popular and had been defeated several times at the ballot before. Powerful players were against the school, and Teddy took great personal risk to get it built. Teddy had a plan, and it won. It resulted in a magnificent school. I was terrified walking into that incredible office of the mayor, but Teddy put me at ease. He had me come around and sit on his side of the desk with him, and he said, "Anthony, you go to Classical High School. Don't you think it's time for a new school? Do you want to be part of the city's future? Let me show you how this is done." Ted laid out a strategy that resulted in a successful campaign and the building of Central High School. Today, Central is recognized as one of the best schools in the nation. It's so great that maybe we should think now about calling it DeMauro Central High. We loved him in Pine Point. He was revered in the senior and community center that he helped create. Yali Mahorniak ran things there and would call Teddy with a problem for some unfortunate neighbor. They would both get very emotional over whatever the issue was. We'd actually see Teddy tear up sometimes. But the next day, or that very day, the issue was solved and taken care of. Teddy was a great strategist. And only now can I tell a secret strategy of Teddy's. When Yali held a media conference, locking neighborhood seniors in a dog kennel on Berkshire Avenue, saying that they were safer there than out on the streets because of roaming dogs and the lack of a dog pound, it was really Teddy's idea. He was willing to take that criticism to get the pound built. What politician puts themselves on the line like that today? People always wondered how Teddy had heard about that event quick enough to get there halfway through Yali's comments, but there he was. Teddy had his priorities straight: family, familia, his own and his extended family of Springfield. He was there for his son Andrew's hockey games. He was known to leave meetings to go to a game and come back, regaling folks at the meeting about how Andrew had done or how the team had done. He had the courage to take his daughter Michelle to a KISS concert. Think about that. Teddy DeMauro that we know at a KISS concert at the Civic Center that he built, even having his photo taken with rocker Gene Simmons in his garish makeup. Michelle was a rock star herself the next day at school. When the other kids saw that photo in the paper, Teddy would tell anyone who would listen that he hated that concert. That was no Sinatra. And then there was Anne, his beloved wife and the city's first lady. She would accompany him to so many events. There could be 1,000 people in the room, governors, legislators, even presidential candidates. But Teddy's eyes lit up the most for Anne. Family first never changed for Teddy. Mayor Sano mentioned in the newspaper recently about seeing him at swim meets when the mayor would attend with his daughter. He would see Teddy there with his granddaughters. I can recall Teddy telling me of those meets and also about how great his grandchildren were, including Deegan, who I think he would be very proud of here today. Teddy was a kid from Six Corners. His lifelong pal, Tony Ravosa, said it the best. Teddy, it was a long way for us, from Six Corners to downtown. It really was an extraordinarily long and hard 4.5 miles for them. They worked tobacco together. Teddy picked, Tony hauled. When they built the Civic Center, they performed there together. Teddy on trumpet, Tony on drums or tenor. They opened the place with Bob Hope, accompanied the Springfield Symphony Orchestra for Pearl Bailey, and even lent their talents to Arthur Fiedler and the Boston Pops. That was a very, very long way from Six Corners. Teddy built Springfield. He built schools, a civic center. He negotiated deals with corporates like Friendly's for Springfield Water and fought the fight for a new basketball Hall of Fame. He forged a cable television contract that was copied around the state. He created the cable endowment that still contributes to Springfield today. It was a grand time for Springfield. It was a transformative time, and he was our transformer. He appointed great public servants, so many of them who are here today, from his law department and from so many departments throughout the city. They're proud still that they served Springfield with Teddy. He made great appointments, including many women, when women were not at the political table. In 1981, he handed a diploma to another kid from Six Corners. That kid became the mayor of Springfield, too. On Dominic Sarno's desk is Fiorello LaGuardia's biography and a copy of the mock Time magazine printed during Teddy's time that heralded all the grand things that Springfield could be if we just had faith, if we just hoped and tried. Teddy was our Fiorello. He was a man who stood tall, so tall for us, for a shining time in our city. He lives on today, in our skyline, and in the hearts of so many lives he touched for the better. Thank you, Teddy. We love you. Springfield loves you. You did good, my friend. Real good for a kid from Six Corners. Bravissimo, Teodoro.